morning, friends. This video is a little bit behind schedule. This weekend I had a moment where I just wanted to binge watch Castle, and then I had a moment where I decided I needed to play Mass Effect again. So this weekend I didn't do a whole lot of reading, and I have an update for you guys because I have A Tide of Black Steel, The Silverblood Promise, The Spider that I really want to read. However, I got 3 arcs and Babylonia was one of them. I got the ALC for it, and so I went ahead and because I have an obligation, I need to read these 3 that I got. But I'm really liking this. It took me a little while to settle into the way mythology stories are told again, because it's been a while since I've read one. It's a little dissociated, the writing style, and so that's kind of making me feel like I'm not connecting with the characters. But this is kind of typically how mythology retellings are told, and I don't know if it's I'm not in the mood for that right now, or if it is that kind of writing style no longer works for me. I really hope not, because I love mythology retellings. I don't know exactly what it is, but this is good. It's just not hitting the way I am used to mythology hitting for me. And I do think we're on our way to a polyamorous relationship here. That's what it sounds like. That's what it reads like. I am still reading, still wanting to see how that plays out. But yeah, I am enjoying this for the most part. Now, the other 2 arcs I won't talk about just yet, but I do have them downloaded, ready to go, and I am excited. I also, from Libby, have The Leftover Woman, and so I don't know if I am going to read Coldest Girl in Cold Town or Leftover Woman while I'm reading this, because I am starting to see that I need to break up the slower books, or even the super fast paced books. I need to break those up with something else so that my brain doesn't just collapse on itself. So I might pick up one of those. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, like I said, halfway through, really enjoying it. Hard time settling into the writing style. Not much else to say other than that. I will check in with you guys when I am finished, or if I happen to start another book. Hey guys, I am about 3/4 of the way through this book now, Babylonia, and I'm still really enjoying it, but the pacing is starting to get to me a little bit. So I'm going to do my best to kind of go between these 2 books. I have a feeling this is going to be fast paced. Holly Black usually is. This is YA. It's not quite as elevated as Babylonia, and not quite as slow. And the dog is ever determined to knock over the tripod over here. But I'm going to do this via audio. That way I can kind of break up the 2, and I don't DNF this based on pacing, because I'm not the biggest fan of slow books, but I do love mythology, and I really like the direction that this one is going in. So I don't want to DNF it just because of the pacing. Like I said, I am a little bit further into it, and I think it keeps on teasing us with the whole polyamory thing. I'm not sure that that's a thing that's actually going to come to fruition in here, but it does seem like it could. And it could also be something that just kind of gets flipped on its head. Things are happening that make me think that maybe the people that we're rooting for might not be in a relationship together after all. Writing is good though, characters are good, world building is good. It does have that detached mythology type of writing style, which I was not prepared for. My brain was totally not prepared for it, because I've been reading so many other things the last year. But in order to stay the course, like I said, I will be doing The Coldest Girl in Cold Town alongside it.
and I got a very exciting package in the mail. We have the new Grady Hendrix. I am so pumped for this. I love this cover, the lava lamp. That's just, it's very cute. And I've heard awful things about this book so far, and I don't know why. I guess Grady Hendrix, he's campy, so there's going to be people who don't like his writing style. This has some mixed media in it, as far as I know. But I have loved every Grady Hendrix I've read. Do I like some more than others? Sure. But I haven't met a Grady Hendrix that I don't like yet. And I don't see how this is going to be any different. I think I'm going to be one of the ones who's like, y'all are crazy. Grady Hendrix is amazing. That's what I'm calling it right now in this vlog. That is all of the updates I have for right now. I'll check in whenever I finish either Babylonia or get further into The Coldest Girl in Cold Town, or if I drop everything and read Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, because, you know, I'm 100% a mood reader, and that could happen. I doubt it will, because, like I said, I'm still very excited for the books that are on my TBR, and I can always read it next month. There's nothing saying that I have to read it now. I also put in my pre-order for the Onyx Storm audio. I'm not as eager to get onto that one as I am Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, because I'm not like a Fourth Wing stan. Like, I'm excited for it, but I'm not gung-ho, Fourth Wing is everything. I'm just not one of those girlies. But I'll check in with you guys later.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joseph. Happy birthday to you. Hey guys, am I wearing my hat today to hide the fact that I haven't showered yet? Yes. I finished 2 books. As you guys know, I needed a break from Babylonia because it was a little slow and my brain was starting to check out of it. I really enjoyed it. I just want you guys to know that off the bat. So I picked up The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. This was my last ditch effort to read something from Holly Black and still enjoy it. I love the Cruel Prince trilogy. It was one that kind of started my love for fantasy romance and enemies to lovers, things like that. It was like the starting off point for a lot of people in YA romance, seeing that play out the way it did. Even in like some dark romance facets, we all got our start with The Cruel Prince, right? But everything I read after that, including Book of Night, kind of just read the same. It was like, she couldn't change up her writing style to suit the story. She couldn't change up her writing style to suit the characters, and it showed. And I was very frustrated. And I shouldn't have gone back to Holly Black's writing with the continuation of the Cruel Prince story, because I was already frustrated that all of her books were reading the same. I'd read Tithe. I'd read the adult book that I just talked about that's left my brain, Book of Night. And so I had this on my shelves because I have really enjoyed Holly Black before, been looking forward to this one, and it got shoved to the wayside and not read for years. Years. I don't remember when this book was published. According to this, 2013. So it's been on my shelves for a while. And I wanted to read it. I held on to it because it's vampires. I love vampire stories. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. Very pleasantly surprised. This is a self-destructing book that's going to stay on my YA shelves now for forever, probably. I really enjoyed the vampire character in here. I loved the world and how cold towns were created. I really enjoyed the world building, which I don't really get to say about Holly Black very much, because the Cruel Prince has been the Cruel Prince for so long, that world has been established for so long, there wasn't a whole lot of world building to her new series because it was the same world. I felt like Tithe and Book of Night kind of could have been in their own same world, but adjacent to Cruel Prince also. So it was very exciting, very, very exciting to see something very different from Holly Black. And I gave this 4 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. And in this story, we have a girl who, her mother is turned
into a vampire. But vampires don't turn people automatically. Like the rules are not the same in this world as they are in other worlds. Basically, a vampire can bite you, infection can set in, but you can move past it. You can metabolize the virus yourself. It just takes a very long time for this to happen, and most people can't bring themselves through the process. They end up biting somebody, turning them into a vampire. Now, our main character's mom was bitten, and they tried to contain her while the virus took its toll, did its thing, that way that they could keep their mother, keep their wife, you know. Our main character, being a small girl, not understanding fully what was going on, decides that she is going to release her mom. Her mom is begging for food, she's begging for blankets, she's begging for anything she can think of. She's begging for her children, she's begging for her husband. She lets her out. And when she does this, her father is forced to kill her, all of this stuff. Now, that might be slightly spoilery, but it gives you the backdrop of why we have this story. And our main character finds herself at a party where drinking and drugs and all that has happened, and she has passed out. Now, when she wakes up, everybody's dead, and she knows it's vampires. Vampires have ravaged this party, and she needs to get out. And so in order to escape, she releases her friend who is infected and a vampire to help her navigate what's about to come. And they head to the nearest cold town. Cold towns are where the vampires live. There are humans that live there as well, and there are people who are willing to feed the vampires that go to cold towns. There are people who are infected that get sent to cold towns because they're on the verge of turning, and most people can't survive through the process of suffering through this infection and letting their body take care of it naturally. They tend not to be able to. And so since she was bitten, it was a light scratching of teeth. It wasn't like fully injected teeth. And so she's not sure whether or not she is infected. And, but she wants to go to this cold town to make sure she can deliver her friend who is infected and this vampire who is with her to the cold town. And things go from there. But it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed this a lot. Now on to Babylonia. So I did not know much about Mesopotamian history other than what you get from the Greek side of it. I never heard the Babylonian side of it. And going into this, there were things that I knew, but I knew from a distance, I guess we could say. And our main character, Semiramis, I don't remember how to say her name. She is someone who comes from nothing and ends up rising in the ranks until she is queen. And that is the basis of this myth. She was known to be a very powerful ruler, basically in this myth and in history. And I really enjoyed a lot of this. Now, I gave this 4.5 and not a 5-star because it did get tedious in places. And I say tedious because there were things that started to repeat. It was very slow. And the main focus in this story is our main character herself, her husband, the governor, and then the king who loved them both. And it talks about PTSD in a time where that term did not exist and what that looks like. And, you know, they were not able to treat it at this time, and they didn't know what it was at this time. And so it kind of just became a spiral into madness for a lot of people who had been through war and who had all of these pressures of society put on them that they were not able to fulfill. But I ended up really enjoying this. The ending of this book kind of made up for a lot of the tedium of the middle part of the book. And I mean, it's as close to a 5-star as you can get without being a 5-star. I just couldn't give it the full 5 stars because I did feel that tedium in the middle. And like I said, I even had to switch books to make sure I didn't DNF because I was really enjoying a lot of what this book has to offer. I did think at one point that we were headed for a polyamorous story, and I think I might have liked that direction a little bit more, but this one absolutely made sense. So that's just me being gung-ho for the polyamory ending and nothing else. But I do have to confess something. Not only did I get Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix this week, I got Onyx Storm. This has been sitting next to me all day and I'm dying. I'm dying to get into it. I'm sorry, the TBR has been ruined. I probably won't get to the other fantasy books that I had on my list, which is A Tide of Black Steel, Silverblood Promise, and The Spider, but I will move those into February because I do really, really want to read them. I just forgot that this was coming at the end of this month and forgot to put it on the TBR because, you know, I have ADHD and things that are not in front of me, they don't exist. So I will be picking this up next. Okay, as promised, we are going to end here so I can get this video uploaded for a weekly vlog and not stretch the vlog out till I'm finished with everything. But I did complete 2 books, Coldest Girl in Cold Town and Babylonia. Both were really good reads, and so I'm very excited for that. My reading has been very strange this month because while some were disappointments, they were slight disappointments and 4 stars. Some surprised me, and so my January wrap-up is going to be very interesting. But I have started Onyx Storm. I'm only about 90 pages into this, and the reason for that is my son's birthday was yesterday. You guys probably have seen some clips of us going out and celebrating his birthday. He is 13. Oh my goodness, I have a teenager. But I'm really enjoying this. This hits the ground running, and it leaves off right exactly where the second book ended, and it has been nonstop action, which I am starting to get a little frustrated with. And not Onyx Storm in particular, but I read The Immortality Thief. Now I'm reading Onyx Storm. And while I like fast-paced books, these 2 in particular are nonstop go, go, go. And then I'll read slow books in between them, and I'm starting to dissociate because of that. So I need to find a few books that are going to be like medium paced to kind of balance these out. Otherwise, I think I might just go mad. We're all mad here, right? That does mean I should probably pick up the Silverblood Promise, but I do have 2 arcs that I want to get to, and we'll talk about those in the next vlog. And then I can pick up whatever else is left on my TBR. Like I said, I probably will shift Tide of Black Steel, the Silverblood Promise, and the Spider to my next month's TBR. If I can, I will be playing my game again, so we'll see how that goes. And
get to those then, because I know for a fact that A Tide of Black Steel is going to be medium paced, and I'm assuming the Silver Blood Promise probably will be. The Spider is probably going to be a little bit on the slower side, because the Wolf was. But yeah, I'm enjoying my reading, but also having a little bit of frustration with my reading right now. So I don't know what to say other than that. As always, I have a Patreon if you would like to join. It is in my links in a Linktree link down below. And I hope you guys are having some 5-star reads out there. Bye.